The following movie is rated R.
What up, peeps? It's Friday. I hope everybody is feeling fantastic. So let's go ahead and jump all over these topics. And the first thing I want to talk about is this little booger by the name of Lil Yachty, right? So if you guys haven't heard, he said some disrespectful-ish on a track that he debuted during a stream, and it has sent social media into a frenzy. People are upset about it, right? Because they felt that he didn't need to go there, but he went there anyway. I don't know if he's broke. Yep, it seems like the money could be low, because why would you even make this type of reference in the first place? You know what I'm saying? And what he said lets me know that this music right here isn't for the black community. It's for the other communities and things of that nature who support what happened to George Floyd. Now, let me back up, because what Busta say on that scenario track back in the days?
Heal up, wheel up, bring it back, come rewind.
When I say that Lil Yachty didn't make this song for black people, let's be honest here, you have some black people out here that support what happened to George Floyd. And so I would be remiss if I didn't mention that, because I can't act as if that every black person out here in America is for our people. But anyways, I can just see the TikTok trends now, using this snippet of this particular song just to poke fun at George Floyd. And it's just embarrassing to be an African-American male putting out this type of insensitive music when you absolutely know that there are some people out there, some ignorant people out there, that's gonna make a mockery of it. And so you're not concerned about that, you're just concerned about the check, in my estimation. So let me play you just a little snippet of what Lil Yachty said on this track, and then I'll be back.
Wait for it, wait for it. I TSUS, I'm finna go break the bank for it. Put my knee up on her neck, I went George Floyd.
All right, so you just heard that little snippet. He said, I put my knee up on her neck, I went George Floyd, right? So disrespectful and ignorant. So a lot of people are upset about this, including Steven Jackson. You know, Steven Jackson had a close relationship with George Floyd. So let me play you what he had to say in response to Lil Yachty.
Doing the right thing, I'm winning. I'm just trying not to pay attention to you idiots, man. But like, it's just hard, bro. Like, Lil Yachty, bro. You've been whack, man. But you think you saying George Floyd name and trying to use his name in the bar, that's gonna make people like your whack ass music, man? Y'all the only era that feel like demeaning the dead and saying it's cool, man. It ain't. And it's me and the whole Third Ward and the whole Houston, Texas riding behind G, man. Don't ever say his name, bro. Y'all, none of y'all knew G. Nothing about him. But y'all want to say his name for clout. Put him on his niggas. I do joke. That's some weak Yachty. But let somebody find your family. We gonna do a whole skit about it and see how funny it is, bro. Cut it out, man. It's only you whack sound that do like that.
All right, so even though Steven Jackson is immature for his age, I can remember that video of him going to O Block trying to fit in. He 50 years old. Why you out there on the block? He was right about this one right here. I just don't understand the motive here. You know, at the end of the day, you're trying to capitulate to an audience that you know that disrespected this man. And even still, you didn't have an ounce of compassion. You didn't have an ounce of awareness that his family and friends are still bothered by what happened to their loved one. But you wanted to insert this bar because you thought it was that lit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna keep it real, guys. You know, for those of you who follow me tight, I love my people. I love everybody. You know, I don't have an ounce of discriminatory practices that exist within my thought process at all. I tell the truth about everyone. But in this particular case right here, sometimes you just need to keep that raid. You need to keep that raid, because this is just honestly just despicable on so many levels, and he needs his ass whooped. And I will say, if I'm gonna keep it honest here, Lil Wayne said some BS back in the days too that I didn't like. He was like, I'm gonna beat the cat up, and I'm paraphrasing here. He said, I'm gonna beat the cat up like Emmett Till. I'll never forget that line. I will never ever forget that line, ever. Because that was just, oh my God, that was just some real, I can't say what I want to say here, but because it makes me so upset. Because when I look at everything in its totality, why are we the only ones that degrade, belittle, mock each other when someone passes away, you're smoking on this type of pack, you're smoking on boo-boo pack, you're smoking on Tuka, all this why do we do that? I just don't understand our mindset. I believe that there were certain things administered to certain children at birth that messed up their whole brain functionality. If I'm going to keep it real, I know that's maybe going way left, but something happened to these new ends, if I'm being honest. But anyway, let's move along from this pandering chump, and I want to talk about Tyla, because we all know that Tyla has had her controversial issues, and here recently Cardi B has come to her defense. Now, Tyla just put out an album, and in its first week it only sold 3,700 copies within the US, so y'all are definitely making her sweat, and y'all definitely made her eyes water, because I'm pretty sure that she's crying on her pillow. Now, the reason why Tyla is in the mud that she's in at this particular point in time is because she said something to the effect that she understood that she had black heritage. However, as a colored woman in South Africa, I am not treated or seen the same as the unambiguous black girls in my country, so therefore I cannot say I am a black South African out of respect for them. And so, listen, I'm gonna be honest here, I kind of understand that she's trying to stay true to her roots or whatever, because she don't want to disrespect where she comes from. However, you're trying to market to individuals in the US, and we don't mess with that word colored, okay? So you better come over here and understand who the audience is, because you have to understand the culture here. African Americans fought for you to come over here to be able to market your music in the first place. You better come over here and act like you got some sense and understand that you're black over here. Now, let's just keep it a stack. We know that her music is going to appeal to mostly women, and to be exact, black women specifically. And when she had a chance to clear this up on the Breakfast Club, the way she turned around and snapped her neck back to her team to interject the question that Charlamagne asked her, I think that black women were like, oh, okay, that little snap of your neck, because you know, our sisters can get petty, because she turned that neck so far around, I thought it was going to do a full 360.
About your identity as a South African colored person. What does that even mean?
Can we not?
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I was told that Charlamagne and the Breakfast Club, they knew that Tyla did not want to be asked that question up front, but Charlamagne, he comes from the school of Wendy Williams, and he was going to ask that question regardless, right? Now, after the interview, I believe that Tyla and her team panicked because they saw the writing on the wall. And so there was a statement put out by Tyla, and this is what it said. Never deny my blackness. I don't know where that came from. I'm mixed with Black, Zulu, Irish, Mauritian, Indian, and colored. In Souther, I would be classified as a colored woman, and other places I would be classified as a black woman. Race is classified differently in different parts of the world. I don't expect to be identified as colored outside of Souther by anyone not comfortable doing so, because I understand the weight of that word outside of South Africa. But to close this conversation, I'm both colored in South Africa and a black woman. As a woman for the culture, it's and not or. With that being said, whatever. Now, in the midst of Cardi dealing with her own drama because she's out here shaming plus size women after they done purchased her products or whatever, she took the time to defend Tyla, and this is what she said.
People been dragging the out of Tyla, and it's like the girl don't even address or talk about nothing. I'm starting to feel that people just don't like celebrities. Every single time I scroll down on my TikTok, there's a video of her and people are talking and it's like, damn, what do you guys want her? What do you want her to do? Cut her veins?
Now, I will say to Cardi that you are lucky to be in the position that you are in, because you've said some degrading and disrespectful things about the black community in the past, and I don't understand why you weren't held accountable, but somehow you slipped through the cracks, right? But anyway, as it pertains to Tyla, you're marketing your music to the United States of America. Respect us. Respect black Americans and our culture. Nobody is going to Africa to pursue a record deal or to put out music unless they're doing a concert, right? So at the end of the day, if we are going to Africa, Dubai, any other places across the pond, we have to conform and respect their culture. When you come over here, you have to respect our culture too. And honestly, I feel like Tyla's team failed her. They didn't coach her up to the magnitude that she should have been coached up to. They should have told her, hey, listen, when you're over here, you're black. because that word colored is offensive. No one wants to hear that over here, right? We understand who you are, where you come from, and things like that. And I'm pretty sure that people back home would potentially understand the dynamics if you educated them on why that word is offensive. Hell, some people already know over there that that word is offensive to Black Americans, because in my mind, she could have just said that she was South African and left it at that. It's the word she used, and she's paying the price because, like I said, most of the individuals that have the same hue like me, they're not gonna go for that over here in the US at all, you know. And if your EP is only selling 3,700 copies and your sophomore album is due, I believe later on this year or 2026, I wonder what your numbers are gonna be for that, because it seems as though that people are just not in tune with you right now. But she's a beautiful girl, extremely talented, and listen, maybe she'll get over this hump one day, but as for now, people are not rocking with her. And lastly, I would like to say that she has a very awkward personality. I don't know if that's the nerves or jitters or whatever when she's being interviewed, but I can see why people can't connect with her. It's just something off. But anyway, I'm gonna let this go right here. I want you guys to drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about everything I talked about today. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and if you're new here, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I'll yell at you guys later. Peace.
Thanks for watching.